here's another place where self-awareness is huge, because it's not just about the student. It's about the self-awareness of the teacher and the environment. And there was one time that I had a teacher that I was working with. I was working with the teacher privately on their studio and on their results. And it was primarily around marketing, like it was for so many years. You know, it's kind of expanded in recent years, but early on in marketing. And I did this more than once, but they were having a real conversion problem where students were coming in, but they weren't signing up. And so I said, film a trial lesson. And they filmed it. And I watched it. And I could just tell that they were on rails, that they were doing it the same way they did it for the 100 people before and the 100 people after. Mm-hmm. And literally, like, they're talking to parent, and there were two parents there, and one of them was like playing on their phone. And during the lesson, they were saying things to the kid was ignoring it, and the teacher wasn't even addressing the fact that the child was ignoring it. Like, it was just autopilot. And honestly, the parents were bored. And I think, and Ben, I want to turn back over to you here, but I think this is as good a place as any to talk about that. And I think teachers should, at least one time in their career, if not many times, like, film themselves in a lesson with a new student and just evaluate. You will be shocked at what you see when you're not in the moment.
Yeah, that was a huge, I mean, we started doing that not that long ago, Nate. I remember. I mean, it was because we had a similar challenge, of just like how to make trial lessons and these, first impressions better, right? How to improve. And and again, with the modeling, like Nate and I, have to video, record ourselves and then go over it just like reviewing tape for the football game. You got to go play by play and be like, okay, you moved here, you said this, and then the student disengaged. Why? Right? Or, okay, what did you say to the parent? And then they look down at their phone. Right. And we did training sessions coming out of those where we, picked apart recordings of ourselves.
I love it.
Second by second of what happened. And, having our faculty watch those and be like, okay, what can I do differently? And, even the trial lesson format, picking that apart, we've done, role playing and training exercises of the post lesson discussion. And, those same kind of, watching for those same kind of like body language cues, right? And, establishing those archetypes of what kind of parent you're listening to, or talking to, Like,
yes.
Are they looking at their phone? Are they got sunglasses on? Are they, thinking about the next thing? Are they hyper engaged? Are they asking detailed questions, or are they like, well, I don't know anything about music, they want to learn, but right. They have no idea what they're talking about. So, how do you speak to those? Right. So, but yeah, to kind of take it back, to the punch list, I feel like, we went through the before lesson of getting to know student family, and then, the meet and greet and getting started. And now you're kind of getting into the format of the lesson, right? And like what happens, for trial lessons, for first lessons, to really begin to develop that relationship. And I think, to avoid kind of being on rails, like you say, is that is a challenge, particularly with like say a new faculty member where they need that structure, right? But they don't, you don't want them to just go on autopilot. Mm-hmm. So so that's where I think a lot of our work, has evolved and matured a lot in the last few years at BMF, of being comfortable with the structure to the point where you can, respond to that relationship and still honor the structure of your curriculum and your, lesson architecture and everything, to have the confidence to be able to do that, to respond to the student in front of you and trust that the curriculum and their progress, their journey, their musician's journey at BMF will progress and continue if I focus on the relationship in front of me.